All right, so we're still in the middle of quarantine days, stuck here in the garage. Somebody posed the question that's a very common question that we get a lot and we see a lot and we've struggled with a lot personally, at least I have, and that's in the snatch, making contact with the pubic bone. And then it's one thing if you do it once, which it happens to everybody, even really good lifters, they still have a bad lift occasionally and they'll catch that pubic bone. But once you get into a habit of doing it continuously and then you bruise that pubic bone, it can be miserable. You get to the point where you just don't even want to snatch, and you're looking for pads and stuff to put there. I've seen things called like the snatch shorts, not to call those guys out, but if you need those, you just got to fix your technique, right? If you feel that happening consistently, it's not normal and it shouldn't be happening, and there's a cause and a solution. So we're going to go over 3 main reasons for that to happen, and then hopefully try to figure out how to fix it as well. So number 1, the simplest way, and hopefully this is the problem, but it's usually not, is the grip. So if your hands are a little too narrow and you stand here with good posture, nice and tall, shoulders back and down, with arms nice and long, but the chest sticking out a little bit, maybe even feeling slightly overextended with your back. If that bar is hitting that pubic bone in that spot, then that's a bad sign. And the only way you could be standing here in this position with that bar resting on the pubic bone and not hit it would be to have a really active early arm bend, which, contrary to some opinions, that's not necessarily the worst thing. There's been some really, really good weightlifters, and the arguably the second best CrossFitter ever had a really early arm bend. So you can do it in CrossFit and weightlifting, but it's not ideal. We try not to do that unless we absolutely have to. So make sure your grip is wide enough. You want to make sure that that bar is resting comfortably between the hip bone, so you don't want it up here on the hip bone. So it should be below the hip bone on the corner right there, and it should also be above the pubic bone. So I know just from habit that my grip would be right there. That's my snatch grip. I know where that bar should always be resting when I'm in the standing position. And once you figure that out, you just use the lines on the bar to make sure your hand's in the right spot. So check that off the list. 2 other reasons. So assuming our grip is correct, we also have to watch our posture and motion. So if I stand here again nice and tall and that bar is resting comfortably against that soft tissue between the pubic bone and the hip bone, and keep an eye on where that bar is in relation to my shirt right there, just by relaxing my shoulders and letting them roll forward a little bit and then losing a little bit of posture. So I'm still standing pretty tall, but just losing a little bit of posture, that bar could slide down all the way under the pubic bone. And so that's a recipe for disaster as well. If you're pulling, especially if you're going really heavy and you lack the upper body strength and the upper back strength to keep that good posture, that's going to put you right on that pubic bone, as opposed to keeping the shoulders back and staying extended. That bar is going to be a lot higher. So you can come all the way down to your thighs just by rolling those shoulders forward. So maintaining posture through the pull, especially as you start the second pull, is going to be equally as important. Now number 3, and this is actually the cause for the person that submitted the question. He sent me a video, and this is what we saw. He's trying to make baby barbells. And while we do want to be aggressive, we do want to make good hip contact, we shouldn't be trying to hump the bar. So from the knees up, what we should see in that sequence is the chest starts coming back, bringing the bar to the hip. So at no point am I trying to send my hips to the bar. As soon as you start to open those hips early and the shoulders aren't coming back and the torso's not rolling back, your hips are going to roll under the bar. You get a little bit of a butt tuck there. You kind of lose that lower back. So we want to be a little bit more extended. You start to lose that lower back. You expose that pubic bone, and bam, you're going to hit that pubic bone. And it's going to hurt like hell. So that's kind of making that baby barbell syndrome, right? You're trying to get those hips to the bar. You open up a little bit too much, kind of tuck your butt under, exposes the pubic bone, hits low with the pubic bone exposed, and you get that big bang. That's the cause probably 9 times out of 10 for people that do that consistently. So what I want him to feel, or you to feel if you do that, is to feel like your butt is staying back and up. So like you're sticking your ass out the whole time and just bringing the chest up. And that's going to bring the bar to the hip with the butt still out and the pubic bone still underneath. So what we're trying to avoid is this position. We're going to keep the hips back and bring the bar to the hips by pulling that chest up and pulling that back up. Boom, into that position. So full speed. Should be able to make hard contact with the bar and be 100% confident that it's going to hit muscle every time and not the pubic bone. Send me questions, or if you need some clarification on that, I'm open. Leave a comment, shoot me an email, and we'll sort you out.